participate much in like.
Well, Aaron, that makes me sad, but I get it. Hey, Lee.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Mario.
Okay, we have chat this time, so hopefully.
Chat. Wow.
But the reason why I turned it off before is actually it's kind of distracting if everyone starts chatting, but then people are talking. It's a trade-off.
I'm gonna spend the entire call like this. Oh,
Yeah.
It is a trade-off. I agree. Am I coming through okay, Lee, by the way?
Yeah, actually perfect. Better
Nice.
than before.
Hey, what is that cool t-shirt you have on? That's a new Harmony one. I don't think I've seen that.
No,
one before.
it's one of the originals, actually. This was before the blue shirts were made, actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
Can we still get the blue shirts, the original Dr. Tse barbecue ones, or not?
Yes, they're on the store.harmony.one.
Oh, awesome. I'm gonna order one for myself.
Yeah, you should. I actually need more of those blue shirts as well.
Those are the classic ones.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of this new jacket that I got. Like it's a Harmony one. And I got this on store.harmony.one. It's like the perfect combo of warm enough, but not too heavy. So I'm really liking it.
Nice, nice, nice.
How was basketball last night, Lee?
It was a lot of fun. It got very competitive. We were like, oh, let's take it easy, you know, first time in a while. But no.
Did anybody get hurt?
Nobody got hurt, but I think one of the things I will remember for next week is actually bring my real basketball shoes, because people are playing for real now, not just like, oh, let's walk around and shoot.
Right. Nice. Did Steven put on his real shoes, or does he play basketball barefoot?
No, you can't play basketball barefoot. I mean, you can try, but would not be fun. That would be the one time you play and then you're out the rest of the year.
Just imagine. Jeez.
Yeah. So for anyone who's on this call who's ever in the Bay Area, come visit us in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
I'm across the pond, so I'll pass on that, but thank you.
Come on, Mario, just start swimming.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm pretty close to the sea, to the ocean.
When you say across the pond, I was thinking you were in Oakland, you know.
No, the Netherlands.
California. Yeah, Oakland, California.
They respond, the pond is the Atlantic Ocean,
right?
Which is just the smallest of things. And I'm pretty sure somebody swum it before, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that sounds about correct.
No, I don't. You can swim the English Channel, not the Atlantic Ocean.
And you can swim the Cuba to Florida swim.
Mm-hmm.
People have done that. I actually saw once, I think they usually have these cages that they swim in with a boat around them to make sure that they are safe from wild animals. Sharks. I'm saying sharks. They're avoiding the sharks.
Let's see. Oh, there's Boris. I believe once a couple people join, we can get started.
Hello there.
Hey, Boris.
Hey, Boris.
I think I see Ganesha on as well.
Yeah. Hey, Ganesh. So.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Boris, what does your shirt say?
It says, I forgot that it's, I will remember in a few seconds.
Yeah, drink a couple more cups of coffee and then you'll be good to go.
I forgot.
That's
It's,
all right.
Okay.
it's a violent message. I can tell you that. Is something with the samurais. And when I say the word, you probably will recognize it. I just miss it. It's a common. It's a. Nah, I can't remember.
Okay. Cool. Hey, Sahil. How are you?
Hey guys,
So,
Hey.
morning.
morning.
morning. Okay, maybe well, it's almost 9:05. Maybe we can start with just kind of sharing. I guess Sam, you're supposed to be the MC. I started talking.
Sam, we can probably share the screen. You can open up the.
I was going to share the agenda
Yeah,
basically.
perfect. Then we can start probably, and I think the initial part is anyway to hear from everyone who's joining us,
Yeah.
right? So we can kick it off.
Shall I do that first bit? My name is on the
Yeah,
on
go
the
for it.
agenda, so I'll go for it.
Kick it up, Blake.
Yep, just need to find the right
To the right tab.
is this the right screen?
Let's see. Right now, I have a big white space.
How about
There you
this? Okay,
Yeah, I think
so
that's right.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, hey everyone. So yeah, great to see a lot of you again. Some old faces, some new names. So this week, there's a lot going on. This is the second call, so it's a continuation. And basically, one of the things that we're doing, I just want to give you guys a sense of the process, is we're looking for, so part of the whole goal of these calls is to look for developer captains from the community who will then, lead some of the initiatives, whether it's documentation, whether it's helping us organize and create bounties. So Ganesha is going to talk a little bit about that. And then Sahil will talk a little bit about some of the other topics. So we're actively recruiting for dev captains. Some of you have filled out the form already. It's just harmony.1/dev-captain. It's on the forum here as well. We can also send it into the chat probably at the end of the call, just as a reminder. And we encourage you guys to introduce yourselves. So for the dev captain, I'll just give some general guideline. Basically, these are folks who are working part-time, let's say 10 hours a week with Harmony, and they're doing some work on documentation, on bounties. We'll provide some incentives for, creating and managing some of those bounties. And then within, so we'll pick the dev captains by next week, the initial group, and that group will be the group that kind of works together. And then hopefully in about 6 weeks, right, we're giving them basically a mission, the dev captains, that they will start self-organizing with the developer community, and with the idea that in 6 weeks they'll have built enough kind of community and a process and can start forming into what we've been calling the developer DAO. And so that's kind of that's for those of you who are on the phone who joined us the second time or are coming the first time. I assume you may have some interest in that, or just kind of generally get involved in the community. So we're definitely actively wanting to engage with you and talk to you, and then figure out how we can kickstart that developer DAO, which will then have potentially some way of incentivizing all the captains who are a part of that. So DAOs can also have some form of compensation, but that can be determined by the entity at that time with the community support. So I think we can. I'm happy to take some questions after that, but I'll turn it over to probably Sahil next.
Sure, thanks, Lee. So again, reminder that there might be a possibility that you only introduced yourself and expressed the intent to be a dev captain, but please go ahead and fill the form so that we know about you, and we'll, like Lee said, we'll come back next week with dev captains on the call, leading some of the initiatives as well. So I think that's one bit. I think where we want to kick off this call today is really the reason behind this call is get to hear from you, get to know what kind of issues you're facing, and it's not always going to be us talking. So I think what we can go around, and Sam, you can help moderate as well. You're good at it. We can go around. Please raise your hand and let's hear about what are the top issues you're facing while building on Harmony, or any specific feedback about something we can improve. So let's say if you think that, hey, our documentation is not great, what exactly about the documentation you would like us to change? If you think that when you're deploying an app, running a local node is not happening, that level of specific detail would really help us. And we're going to take notes and get together all the possible feedback. Of course, one thing I can say, everyone's going to say, hey, Explorer is not ready. We already know that, we hear you. And it's going to be launching soon. But if you think that there's something you want to tell us about the Explorer, you wish that you could see this on the Explorer, because right now, when your apps are running any smart contract transactions, they're not visible. That's the kind of feedback, please bring it to us. So I'll stop here. We'll probably spend the next 15-20 minutes going around and seeing what everyone has in mind. We'll make a list, and then we'll definitely respond to almost all. So we already have some of the hands getting raised up. So Sam, over to you.
Thank you. So I want to pop over to Devon's question really quickly. He did ask in the chat for a little bit more descriptive answer on what a developer captain or a dev captain would do. So can we touch on that really quickly? And then Devon, I'll throw it to you if you have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Would you like to answer that? I think maybe actually Ganesh wrote out already the docs and how they can participate. So maybe that's a good thing to cover here.
Okay, I can briefly mention. I mean, the first phase of 6 weeks, it's going to be mostly exploring phase where developer captains kind of help us determine what will be their milestones. But roughly a few goals still true. One is improving the developer engagement. For example, pointing developers to Harmony forum to ask questions and kind of triaging their questions and help create issues, and also get answers from the core team as well. Basically improving the whole engagement. That should be the primary goal. And the secondary is helping us with the developer doc, as I wrote a thread over there. We are initiating some of these by putting forth a structure for the documentation that will have kind of greater impact, and also help to improve developers' experience. Currently, if you see the docs, there's a lot of like outdated information and missing links, etc. So these are the things where developer community can also participate. Of course, we will make it more concrete in terms of creating, for example, we need a tutorial about XYZ. Can developer community help with this? So we'll make it more concrete so that participation is encouraged and also rewarded and so on. That's one second area where developer captains can help us drive this as well, along with the team. And the third thing is the bounties, which for which I also created a thread. Right now, bounties are mostly created, evaluated by Harmony team. We want participation from developer community, and this can be driven by the developer captains as well. Not only just creating bounties, kind of like advertising them to get more votes on those bounties, and so that we will be kind of we have to take up those and publish them in Gitcoin and try to get it done sooner. Right? A lot of developers had wish lists, so this right opportunity to kind of create, support, even if possible, work on some of the bounties, and definitely also help to evaluate some of these bounties. In that way, we can expedite the whole process and get really cool things that you guys developers want to see on Harmony, get it done faster.
Right.
Yeah, these are some of the things, but we as I mentioned, for 6 weeks we can explore all of these different milestones or roles, duties to say, and figure out going forward, kind of like make them more and more concrete, and with your feedback, of course.
Right, right. So a couple of things I just wanted to flag really quickly before I toss it over to your question, Devon. It seems like the primary role of these developer captains is actually to help us organize our developer community. And so they will be leading the charge with doing technical support, answering questions, engaging on the various different socials, and highlighting issues with documentation and pulling the docs together to make it stronger and better, as well as taking some responsibilities on for the bounties. That's kind of what I got. So Devon, let me throw it over to you really quick and say, okay, you also have your hand raised. Aside from first off, did we answer that description of the dev captain? And then secondly, what was your question that you had?
Yeah, I had, you did answer my question. I also had a statement based off of that. I seen the posting kind of sort of on Twitter. So I'm on the call now. I got to jump off soon. But there's a bunch of people who've actually even responded. I was one of the first who said, hey, where's the doc? Where's the job description? Where that I think should be posted somewhere on the site so I could go and look. So like right now, if I'm not on this call, I wouldn't have gotten that information. So, you know, but yeah, thank you. But it's just so many other people who might be interested that we're missing these guys, because the first thing we all got to look at how much time we can put in, but not knowing even do we have the skill. And some of the stuff, there might be people where, yeah, you're not advanced in this programming part, but you're definitely a marketing maven, or you're definitely a content creator. So that word could be, you know, different when it's talking about community, but thank you. I think the second question, I think you guys is going to touch on, and you did, about the Explorer. So my goal was to come in because I really love the product. It's one of the best projects I've seen, and it's definitely undervalued. So my thing was, okay, I know Solidity. Let me see the example, and my focus is security. So I'm looking at, okay, when I deploy a contract, I can't tell the difference between a personal wallet or a contract in Explorer. So that would be a feature that I would hope to see in the Explorer, because let's say we're talking about DeFi. If I can't read through that code, which on Ethereum, I could deploy the contract and go, look, this is a smart contract, or this is a wallet. But that's my only statement. Hopefully that will be added to the Explorer. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for your feedback, Devon. That is a part of the Explorer for sure.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
And Devon, I have to say again, thank you. The feedback about, posting a job description. Thank you very much for that. I think that's super helpful. And then also some commentary about making the Explorer better, which is great. Anything else, or we're going to pop over to Mario?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining the call, Devon. Mario, do you want to pop in and ask your question?
Yes, sir. First, I would like to say, just before I ask my question, that the transactions are still not going through on the DEXs. I'm not sure if you guys are aware about it at the moment, but the default timeout is not being activated, so transactions are just stuck and processing forever. And now the question, it's still on the Explorer topic. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to drop names of projects here. Could you guys confirm if I'm allowed?
I'm okay with it. Lee, Sahil, do you guys have any issues with dropping names? Yeah. So go ahead, Mario.
Right. So Maki, right, is working on a charting solution for Harmony, and they've been struggling quite a bit to build it, mainly because of the API of the Explorer v1. But from what I've heard, they already have some testing being done with Explorer v2. So they're trying to finish the charting solutions for the Harmony chain. But they've been running into quite a few issues. And what I've heard is mainly about the price points will the price points be in the Explorer V2 as you can see them, for instance, in the Etherscan?
So I'll have to. So let me see. Number one, Lisa Hill, do you think, or Ganesh actually, can anyone talk to anything about the frozen transactions right now, or the pause, or the issues we're having with DEXs? I know that we've been working on this all week, and we've issued a lot of great patches and a lot of great work. But I was wondering if you guys could give any update on that.
I mean, it's currently a little bit slow, but they should go through. Most likely, what happens is if the same transaction is submitted several times, it gets underpriced and kind of like hangs. So one way is just submit with a higher price to kick off the kind of waiting queue. But we'll look into it again.
Okay. Do we know, is that on the Harmony side or is that on the DEX side?
I mean, you can see in the Explorer, right? There are already transactions going through, but it's a little bit slow as you see. The block time of shard0 is around like 3, 4, 5 seconds. But most likely, like I mentioned, it's like a repeated submission of same transaction getting underpriced and not going through could be one of the reasons.
Okay.
But we can investigate further.
Yeah.
Because mine are pending on all the DEXs on Harmony at the moment. Like I submitted the same. Can I name the DEXs as well?
Yeah.
Mochi, Loot Swap, and Viper Swap.
So
I will check again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then Sahil, do you have any answers for Mario's questions around the Explorer?
Mario, can you repeat the question? I thought you said something about, do you see price of assets on the Explorer? Is that the question?
Yes. Will we be seeing the price points of? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Because.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Sahil. Sorry.
No. I was saying that we use basic centralized price feed APIs like CoinGecko for all the assets which are all the price is available. For those assets which are relatively new and may not have price feeds available from external APIs, it takes time to get them up. But otherwise, we'll show prices of all assets that we have coming from the feeds.
Okay, that's great. Because it's really a pain right now, especially for dApps being developed, because they have to deploy their own subgraph every time. Given the circumstances of no centralized charting solution.
Right.
So that's
and down the line, we will also probably ask for developer communities have to figure out how do we actually show prices based on some of the top DEXs, whatever price for the assets through pick it up from, let's say, a Viper, a Mochi, a Sushi, or a Loot Swap, wherever, and try and publish different DEX prices on the Explorer as well. So something for us to definitely iterate on once we have the Explorer V2 up.
All right, great. Thank you. That answers my question. Thank you.
And I do want to
just tried a.
Go ahead.
I just tried a swap on Viper. It went through. So I think it's mostly like I was mentioning, account submitted transactions and kind of like everything is stuck in the pool or something.
All right. I did want to flag something that Sahil mentioned, just as a reminder, and I think everyone knows this off the top of their head. The Explorer V2, which will be launching soon, has a bunch of these features which are great, but also it's the first iteration, right? And so as we continue to engage with the developers and continue to see the stuff that we need and we want, we'll continue iterating and making it a better and better product. And I love the products that our team has produced and the community has produced. Let's see, were there any other questions, any other hand raises that we may have? Oh, Adam, go ahead.
Hi, guys. Thank you very much for all the hard work you're putting out. Really appreciate it. I want to ask if MetaMask is going to be supported for staking.
It's a good question. I'm not sure who would be I have some smiles from both Sahil and Ganesh. Either one of you guys want to take that one? I'm not sure what the answer is.
I can take it. So I think, Adam, fantastic question. We wish the same to happen. But the issue with current MetaMask is that we're basically just using the Ethereum RPCs, which does not support the staking transaction methods or data types, right, format. So in the current form, MetaMask would not be able to support staking. But what we're hearing from the community is that there are some wallets which are trying to fork MetaMask and have all possible features that you would need for interacting with Harmony dApps. So that would include staking, connecting with swaps, making sure that you have ENS kind of domain name service on the wallet. So you could have Adam.1, everything, you can use that for sending money as well. So all the other MetaMask features plus taking in a MetaMask fork, which is kind of your new Chrome extension wallet. But the current MetaMask that we have as it is, just because staking is a different data structure, that's why it's not possible. Ganesh, do you want to add anything?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Adam, does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much. It makes it a little bit more clear. I just realized that obviously it's a new method, so it's kind of separate. So like BSC and Ethereum works with in different ways. Okay, thanks guys.
Thanks, Adam. Mario, you raised your hand again. Back to you, bud.
Yes, Adam's question actually reminded me of another question I had, also regarding MetaMask. On the Ethereum mainnet, you can actually purchase Ethereum directly via MetaMask. Would that be possible also on the Harmony mainnet, or is it the same answer as you already gave, Sahil?
That's a good question. It's pretty much on the same lines, but I think down the line, I don't know if we can do a native integration of buying one using MetaMask itself. We could definitely have a payment gateway. The way to solve the problem, Mario, is you have payment gateways which allow you, which link with your MetaMask and allow you to buy one using, wherever the payment gateway is embedded, whether it's a website, staking, whatever. But having a native MetaMask integration would be tough because of the reason that I mentioned.
Clear. Thank you.
Thanks, Mario. Z, you raised your hand. You may still be on mute, though, Z. Yeah. So Z, you are on mute. So happy to answer your question when you're ready to unmute. Any other questions in the meantime? All right. Also, Z, if you can't unmute, go ahead and you can toss your question into the chat, and we'll try to answer it there as well. If there aren't any other top of the order questions, I think. Do we want to talk about bounties? Is that next on the agenda?
Yeah, I think Ganesh can probably now jump on bounties and documentation, and then we can take it from there.
Perfect.
Hello?
Oh.
Yeah, this is Wim. I have one question actually. If it would be possible in the near future for the Harmony team to basically present a more detailed roadmap than is now available on the website. So, because I think the previous one leaves too much room for, I would say, assumptions. For example, the BTC bridge, right? That was actually announced and now it's moved. So I don't know why. So maybe it's a little bit. I mean, it's just a suggestion, right? I have been doing myself product management for 3 years, and my customers, when I presented roadmaps with shifting dates, they actually didn't like that much. So I just wanted to bring that up as something I think we should do to bring to the community some more insights about it.
More like a detailed technical roadmap, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
In a project management dashboard kind of view, where you can go through and see which stage certain milestone or roadmap is at.
Yeah, for example, like Trello or whatever. I mean, I don't know if it's possible that because I see some other projects where they share this openly, right? Where they share where they're working on, which stage it is in. I think people who are really interested can have a look at that. And I mean, it's all depending, of course, on how how much do you want to set that open? And I don't know if you even use that kind of tools. Just a question from that end. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Wim. So I do know that we're doing a bunch of stuff to add to the transparency of how you can see the projects moving. You can also see progress about kind of what we're looking at building by looking at our Gitcoin bounties. Regarding the full product roadmap, one of the things that we do acknowledge is that some of the projects have slipped a little bit, but that is maybe even more of a reflection of the speed in which crypto changes. We are, in general, technology moves very, very quickly. Crypto itself moves 10 times the speed of traditional technology. And so we want to be as transparent as possible and show people as early as possible if anything changes. We're also highly engaged in this effort, which is reaching out and engaging our community of developers to help these projects stay on the path that we know that they need to be for completion. So hopefully that helps. And yes, I agree. I think there, some good transparency about what to expect and when to expect it, I think is good.
Great,
If there is, of course. So I know Z still has his hand up, his or her hand up. So if you want to put yourself off mute and ask your question, great. If not, you can always, put it into the chat. And let's turn it over to Ganesh to talk about bounties and documentation.
Sorry, I was having microphone issues.
Oh, there you go. Welcome.
It's hi, thanks for having me. It's a very brief question about NFTs. So I've been loving the crazy one NFTs and the Harmony One punks, but I can't really see them anywhere. So is there plans on adding visibility for the NFTs on the Harmony wallet?
It's a great question. Love the question. Lee, who do you think would be best to field this question? Do you think we should kick it to Sahil again? All right, We're going to kick it to Sahil. Sahil, you're up again.
Right now, you could see your NFTs, the NFTs that you have linked to your wallets on the One Wallet. The latest One Wallet does show NFTs. But other than that, DaVinci Marketplace would show your NFTs in the My Collection section automatically. MetaMask, Trust Wallet, so many other wallets, we're still pushing for them to also support HRC 721, HRC 1155 as well. But right now, the limited options are either the marketplace itself will have an NFT or you would have one wallet showing. Our Explorer V2 will definitely share the NFT transactions. It won't show the NFT, but it will show that there's NFTs in your account. So that's the current state. But we're definitely encouraging more wallets to integrate HRC 721, 1155. And that's one of the key things. I think that's where also developer captains can help us find, prioritize, create PRs for wallets to support 1155 and 721. Ganesh, do you want to add anything?
No, that's good.
Can I actually ask a follow-up on that? If I own NFTs on DaVinci, will they automatically show up in my One Wallet?
You still have to add the NFT as a token.
As a token, yes.
And so that'll end up showing up in the under the HRC 721 tab of the One Wallet.
Yes.
Okay. Correct. Thank you.
Sam, maybe we could, I think the first thing is maybe we could just have a small tutorial video. And
I think that's a great idea.
Screenshot documentation. I think this is exactly how we're learning and self-evolving as well, so that we just create new education material around exactly these specific use cases.
Excellent. No, I think that's right. Mario raised his hand again, so we'll head back to Mario. And Z, your hand is still raised. Do you still have another question after we touch on Mario? Oh, perfect. All right, Mario, go ahead.
I have just one question regarding a possible dApp that could be developed on Harmony, because what I see new people struggling with, especially when they join crypto for the first time, is impermanent loss on yield farms, for instance, or on DEXs. And I know there's something built for Ethereum, Matic, and Binance Smart Chain at the moment. It's called API.vision. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. I will link it in the chat for you to check out. but it pretty much shows you like how much you gained and lost and impermanent loss that you suffered, because people are really struggling to understand the concept of impermanent loss. The Binance guide is very helpful, but it's still, yeah, as you can imagine. So I'm not sure if a bounty would be the right thing or something internally developed by Harmony. I'm not sure.
Mario, exactly the kind of thing where a bounty would be amazing.
Yes.
So you were probably the first one who should volunteer to create a bounty. If you'd like, you can take it. And then I think this is exactly what we want to talk about in today's call, on how we want to encourage these important tools available that should be available for the Harmony community through the larger developer community.
Right. Awesome. Thank you.
That is a fantastic
sorry, I've linked it in the chat for future reference for you.
Thank you, Mario. And that's a fantastic segue. So let's kick it over to Ganesh to talk about bounties.
Yeah, I briefly, as I mentioned, right now all the bounties, I think our bounties program was quite successful. We were able to get almost like hundreds of bounties completed in a short period of time. But it's still not scalable if only Harmony team participates. So, and many developers actually like they had a wish list of can we get this on Harmony and so on. So here, like we kind of like encourage even invite our developer community to participate more in terms of creating whatever the wish list of bounties that they want, and supporting other bounties and kind of like with the voting, etc. And even like if they really have something, take it all the way, they can even work on some of these bounties and get rewarded via the whatever Gitcoin platform. And finally, even the evaluating the bounties. Our core team has limited kind of resource, and you guys can see some of the evaluation is taking a long time, which is kind of hindering the whole process. So if we can get some help with respect to evaluating, we can make this whole scale really fast and even plan to hit thousands of bounties. And we have a lot of we have dedicated funds to even scale beyond any number of bounties too. Of course, like developer time is very valuable, and we will kind of work with the developer captains to put forth a mechanism where we reward for each of these steps. Even creating takes a lot of time, thinking, and writing the bounty properly takes a lot of effort. So we want to kind of incentivize and reward and make this whole mechanism also scale well. Even for the like voting for your favorite bounties, and even like evaluating, we want to kind of reward your efforts. So over the like this week and next week, we'll work with the developer captains on taking suggestions and what is the right incentive and mechanism. But you guys can already start creating the bounties, and we will kind of take it from there. And yeah, I created a thread. If you guys have any further suggestions, you can reply to that thread in the forum.
That's terrific. Yeah, so don't forget, I mean, a lot of this conversation is happening on talk.harmony.one. They have all these great threads that you can communicate in. Adam, you raised your hand. What's the question, bud?
Thanks. So thanks, Ganesha, for explaining. I just have one question regarding that. So evaluating, do you mean by checking the PR and actually evaluating the code, or do you want me to like, do you want those people to like deploy it locally and play around with it? To what degree? Is it like technical analysis, or like if you can tell a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like you said. I mean, it could be like a simple evaluation. Yes, kind of whatever code submitted is meeting the acceptance criteria, or it can take it to even next level of like doing a hands-on approach, deploying and locally, and even creating a video demonstrating it working. Right? We kind of in the bounties, we want to enforce guides for the bounties. The bounty hunter has to write down the instructions guide, as well as kind of create a tutorial or video but if they haven't, then the evaluator can perform these actions, and to based on the effort we can evaluation effort, we can also reward or incentivize. But yes, you're right. There could be multiple levels of evaluation.
Yeah,
And many
especially
people can participate in evaluation as well.
especially given that, for example, I could technically go and deploy it locally and play around with it and see what does it do from like user experience, but I wouldn't be able to tell if there's any like malicious code in Solidity code or something like that, right? Like or something that is not performance, you know, so like just
this evaluation could be just based concentrating on meeting the acceptance criteria and the user experience, right? Like, yes, all the I mean, you deploy and you run and feel everything is working fine, then that should be enough. Like we don't need to go into like audit level or even performance. We plan to involve auditing agency on some of these key bounties and projects as well going forward, where we'll run the whole bounty source code through the audit to make sure before we deploy or productionize it, it's really like checked for security and so on.
That makes sense. Thanks.
So Ganesh, can you spend about 2 minutes just talking about the docs?
Yeah.
Lee, do you want to put up the tab? There you go. Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, you guys already like probably have faced some trouble going over the developer docs. There are enough materials, but it's poorly organized and had a lot of like outdated, missing links, etc. So we want to work with you guys and initially have some kind of like well-defined structure that is that has the most impact and covers various aspects of developing on blockchain, even if it is customized to Harmony. And we want to also cater to both Web3 and Web2 developers. So I put forward some based on my initial analysis of other project documents. I put forward the structure here. We welcome your suggestions. We can modify and add more and try to improvise. Where we need help, it would be like, as I mentioned, I'll create concrete kind of bounties or tasks where you guys can participate in creating, let's say, guides, tutorials, or even sections of these documents where, again, the same for whatever your efforts, we would like to kind of reward. And going forward, all this process could be managed by developer captain and DAOs, where even if you see Ethereum has like a very open externalized way of maintaining their documentation, where externals can really just fork and create a PR and submit it, and it will get accepted and the document gets updated. So we want to move towards, we initially started with that structure, but slowly deviated from it and directly started modifying docs. But we want to work with developer captains on like making this more streamlined, and so that it's becomes very easy for externals to participate in improving the documentation throughout going forward. Perfect. But yeah, go through this thread and feel free to provide any suggestions if you have, or I will update some of the tasks and next steps in the same thread, and we can take it from there.
Excellent. So it sounds like for those interested in getting involved in the documents, number one, submit to be part of the dev captains, and number two, hop into this thread, provide your comments, talk about what we could do as far as bounties go, and we'll engage, and that'll be really exciting. So thank you, Ganesh. Let's see. Next on the agenda that we were going to look at is Sahil was going to talk about some of the applications that we'd love to see on Harmony.
Yes. So this is the exciting part. I think, as I'm guessing, majority of you already know that we're able to see so many new DeFi primitives on Harmony. We already have DEXs working, our tools are ready, we're completely Ethereum compatible. The 2-3 obvious applications that we know are being worked on, and we would love to invite you to even come and contribute if you have an understanding are stablecoin swaps or stablecoin AMMs, something like which are constant some market makers, interesting bonding curves, because we do have DEXs, but they may not be the best for stablecoin swaps. And I think slowly we are seeing that there are multiple stablecoins with decent volume coming on Harmony. There's BUSD, soon there'll be USDT. There might be a new native to Harmony algorithmic stablecoin. So I think in the few weeks we do project that there would be a strong need for this. So that's one. Another is aggregators. We already have 5 DEXs, I think 4 to 5 DEXs. How do we make life simple for end users? Again, something like a 1-inch Paraswap, 0-inch, 0x. We're already speaking with some of the potential partners, but if any of the developers are looking for, hey, what would be an app which would actually find usage and utility on Harmony? These are things which we're seeing are getting pretty obvious. And then, of course, anything to do with money market protocols, borrowing, lending. There's amazing examples on Ethereum, right, on the money market side. There's also newer protocols that are coming, like Liquidity. So these are some of the protocols we do think will be, developed, deployed on Harmony in the next 2-3 months. So if you were looking to narrow down, and at least I'm only talking about DeFi. Of course, there's so much happening on the NFT land as well. And we definitely need a lot of innovation there. So of course, there's no boundaries, but we just thought we'll probably share some of the protocols which might see, a demand for from the Harmony community. So I think, yeah, just wanted to throw this out there for whoever's joining the call today.
That's exciting. And so it sounds like you focused a lot on DeFi, which is great, but then there's a whole universe of NFT stuff that people can also dig into, which is very exciting. Really quickly, let me press you on this. Aside from DeFi and NFTs, is there anything else that you think would be interesting for devs to look at?
I think for sure, we've been always big fans of other use cases of blockchain, which are around payments. So I think payments is definitely, an important one. Crowdfunding, but not just as a proof of concept, but attached to some real use case. I think that would be very interesting. And then we do have things like, prediction markets could go in the DeFi category, but they're interesting. And then anything around social, social tokens, an app for showcasing your NFTs. So somewhere, I do think it's difficult to say which app. It's difficult to classify a non-DeFi, non-NFT app. There's so much interaction going on, right? So
this is true.
But if you ask me, there's so much around social tokens that it still hasn't taken off. But if someone has a cool idea, influencer tokens, whatsoever, I think those are very interesting ideas to play around. But again, the challenge is think about the user flow. Who would need to solve a particular pain point? How will you solve it? And then work on it versus, hey, I have just a cool idea. Let me just go with it.
I appreciate that. Sorry for putting you on the spot there for a minute, Sahil. You're probably like, wait, we didn't talk about this earlier.
No, these are things which have been on my mind for the past 3 years, so never a spot.
All right, next on the agenda is to talk about the upcoming hackathon. So Lee, I'm going to toss it back to you and have you give us, 5 minutes on our upcoming hackathon.
I think Peter jumped in as well, so he's also leading the effort. So hey everyone, we're very excited for our 2-year mainnet launch anniversary, which is June 28th this month. So obviously, as you can see, the team is really busy working on scaling, not just our protocol ourselves, but also open development. So actually, I was thinking to myself, these calls are one of the best things that we've done recently, and really want to work with you guys on making not just the anniversary amazing, but the next many years, right, as we scale Harmony via open development. So the hackathon is actually going to be a very large hackathon. Peter can maybe share a little more detail after this, but we want to engage. We're working with a lot of good partners. Like we've been working with Gitcoin, which is one of the probably the biggest Web3 developer platform. We want to actually involve Web2 developers as well, whether they're from, let's say, Wall Street or other traditional industries, we can call that, to explore crypto, blockchain. And yeah, we really want even, let's say, 10,000 developers to participate in some way. So we're going to put out a very large incentive for the hackathon. And I think one of the best things that maybe the developer captains can help us with is amplify. And obviously you guys, for every developer that we know, you guys probably know 10 to 100 other developers or communities, I should say. So I'm sure the dev captains can really help us amplify the hackathon. So we'll be announcing that in early July after the 2-year anniversary comes up. And yeah, Peter, if you want to add any other, I didn't want to steal your thunder because this is really your show.
No thunder to steal. This is a team thing for sure. I think it's helpful to look at the current context of DeFi and traditional finance. I read a couple of tweets today. One of them says, DeFi killed the TradeFi bro. And so there's kind of like two camps I'm seeing. There's a camp that wants to include traditional finance and help people move towards DeFi. And then there's another camp that is kind of saying, hey, traditional finance is dead, DeFi like lives, and that's it. I think the Harmony position is that we want to bring people on board onto Web3. And there are lots of traditional finance folks on Wall Street that are interested in getting into blockchain, and Harmony wants to be the chain that helps them do that. And so we want to bridge folks from traditional finance onto blockchain, and Harmony wants to give them that opportunity. And so the tone we want to set for this is we want to be very inclusive to Wall Street. We want to provide really great onboarding, white glove support. We want to see, and by the way, Wall Street folks, because they've been in the industry, they know they have like a lot of specialized knowledge that we in blockchain and those that are in DeFi don't have. And so we would love for them to kind of teach us a thing or two and to take advantage of open development, permissionless networks, all the features that we have in Harmony, and we want them to use us as a playground. And so this hackathon is going to be very inclusive to Wall Street software developers, and that's really where that's one of the key I think differences for this hackathon is we really want to include lots of brand new folks from Web 2 to Web 3, instead of kind of recycling the same software engineers that have been in Web 3 already. And so that's gonna be the theme. I'm very excited about it. And I'm hoping that we're gonna see lots of, upwards of 10 to 20 submissions and projects that will come out of this that hopefully we can commercialize, or the developers can commercialize, and we can help them get users to their apps and help them get further funding if they need it.
That's great. I'm excited for that one. That will be a great hackathon. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. Really quickly, I wanted to reiterate, I think that's it for the agenda for this call, but I did want to reiterate the call for dev captains. We want to, be able to move this forward as fast as possible, really get the dev captains kind of stood up. Again, this is to what Lee has said earlier. We know a handful, we know a good population of developers, but if we can turn this into an infectious idea, if we can turn this into a viral movement, every one dev captain or every one developer that we really bring in will have a core of 5 to 10 other developers that they can touch on and they can work with, and they can really explode the developer community here for Harmony, which is great. Now, Lee threw up very kindly the sign up form on Google Forms. It's really straightforward. The link is in the chat, harmony.1/dev-captain. And you can go in there and put in your email, your name, answer a few quick questions. And I just want to encourage all of you who are even slightly interested in doing some sort of role with Harmony, take a look. I think it'll be worth your time. Lee, was there anything else?
I think that's a great way to, conclude the call. We definitely want to see you guys back here next week, and maybe we'll be reaching out to some of the applicants for the dev captains over the weekend, and even coordinate with you on next Monday and Tuesday, so that some of you can actually drive the call next week and start talking about what, and start self-organizing. Actually, we did this with, for those of you who are familiar with the POps, the Pangea ops, they were the ones that kind of help us bootstrap all the validators, and like, 200 validators later, they're still at it. So hopefully, yeah, this is going to be a great both community for the dev captains, and then of course, hopefully we can even scale that into the developer DAO that will be very active, and let's say 10x our development capacity for the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, very active, very well funded, very organized, and really pushing forward, what this goal is, which I think is great. All right, well, if that's it from my desk, I'm just going to throw it back to you, Lee, to see if you want to wrap up and say, same next week, same bat time, same bat channel. For those of you who used to watch Batman in the 1960s, I'm old. Yeah. Anything else, Lee?
No, sounds good. We will have this every week for the next several weeks to come, and we'll be sending you guys the invite for that. So we look forward to seeing you, whether it's on Telegram, responding to dev captains, and then of course having a call this time next week.
Perfect. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We're going to stop the recording. We're going to drop off the call. Great seeing you. Great hearing from you. And I look forward to talking with you guys. I won't be here next week, but the following week. But everybody else will be here. Let me make that clear. I'm just not going to be here, but everybody else will be here. All right. We'll see you all later.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
See you, everyone. Take care. Take care. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Cheers, Ed. Thanks. Yep. Take care. Okay. I will close it. Thanks, Sam.